once I realized I may have drifted into a persona or switched modes, I'm like, okay, this is the mode I'm in. I regulate myself in that way.
I know you observe different religions. So, what were the commonalities you found in the religion, and what were the differences you found in different religions?
You messed that up because what they found out is they can make the same amount of money with this limited hours.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Founders Decoded. And today we have Desmond Easterling. Thank you for having us here today. And Desmond Easterling is also known as Karmic Dez. Um, we're all curious how he came into in touch with karma as the secret, or like how he started exploring different religions, as well as um, how he creates his own music, and how he adores relationships, all aspects of humanity and life at this point.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Desmond. Or should I call you Karmic Des? Which one you prefer?
Either way works for me. Actually, let's do Karmic Dez right now so people can get it in their heads and they can go out and listen to the music and listen to the episodes. Yeah, let's do Karmic Dez. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, we'll do Karmic Des. And I know like you have podcast on Wanna Talk About It, and also you have your own music. And before going into that, let us start like, how did you start becoming like a karmic des, a version of yourself that was a version of yourself did not thought that you are from 8 years old, or did you think that you'll become this?
It's been a journey. I didn't, I guess I had an idea of who I wanted to be, but
Hmm.
I never thought it would be.
Hmm.
And I talked about it with my friends a lot. Like we're all in a good space right now. Yeah, it's not perfect, but
Yeah,
we're also good in the world we want.
yeah.
So when I was younger, actually when I was 8, I wanted to be Spider-Man.
Every kid's dream.
Right? But even then, even in that, it's like you want to do something good to help people. You want to, well, in
Yeah.
my case, I wanted the power to help people. It's really what it boiled down to. And as we were talking a little bit earlier, and I've always been spiritually inclined in that way. So I started out in Christianity, then became a questioning Christian. That drove me into Buddhism. And as I got wrapped into Buddhism, started doing the practices and the meditations, I started to see a lot of same terminology in Hinduism. So I was like, oh, let me see what this is about.
Yeah.
Uh, and I liked a lot of the ideas of Hinduism as well. The many gods thing, a lot of people are thrown off by that, but like you talked about earlier, I completely, I get it, I understand it, right? It's
Yeah.
not, it's not like you're necessarily praising one god, but
Yeah.
in your praise of that one god, you understand you're praising the one God.
Yeah.
Um, so from there, alongside this, I'm also very into science. So I'm able
Yeah.
to like physics, astrology, astronomy, all that side by side. One of the things that I really latched onto that I saw was similar in both Hinduism and
Hmm.
Buddhism was karma. And as I went back and relearned Christianity, I saw that same idea pop up again. Do unto others as you have done to you. I read the Tao Te Ching, the idea of everything being interconnected. You know,
Yeah.
that idea of karma popping up.
Yeah.
And then I understand the definition of karma. Whether you're
Yeah.
taking action or you're not taking action, you're
Yeah.
still producing karma,
Yeah.
right? So, like my first moniker as I came into the digital space was your boy Dez,
Yeah.
right? And as I started to get older, and this is maybe like 3 years ago, so I I evolved in that way pretty fast compared to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Uh, After maybe like a year and a half, I was like, no, the boy thing just doesn't feel right. I'm a grown man,
Yeah.
you know. So I dropped the your boy and went with just straight Dez.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I started a Snapchat profile, and it
Yeah.
asked for a username and everything. And I was like, I don't have a username. I've used up all my usernames. And I was like, you know what? Let me
Mm.
do Karmic Dez, right? So I did that, and after a while, it just felt right.
Mm.
So I started to use that across all my branding, and it kind of tapped into the idea I had when I was younger. Like I said, I wanted to be, like I told you before, I kind of admired the old sages, the old
Yeah.
martial masters for their lightness, their wisdom, but they're also their directness. So I kind of I wanted to foster that within myself, and I do that. So that's where the Karmic Dez persona comes from, right?
Yeah.
But as you listen to the Sessions Myself album, you'll understand that there's not only just Karmic Dez, there's Desmond, there's this subconscious character,
Yeah.
there's this loving guy, there's all these other personas, right?
Yeah.
And as I study psychology and again, relearning Christianity, some of those same themes pop up, right? So we all wear masks,
Yeah.
and we all have our main self,
Yeah.
you know. So we have the self we keep to ourselves and the self we show the world.
Yeah.
What I realized with me is that and I don't tell a lot of people this, but I always question myself, like, am I being authentic? Like, am I genuine? Is this what I'm really feeling about this person, or is this how I really feel about the situation?
Yeah.
In that process, I thought I was leaning towards like a split,
Mm-hmm.
dissociative identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I sat with it more, I was like, no, I'm not becoming dissociative because I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
So what I realized was happening was I'm becoming more aware, again, through my meditations and, just my musings in my own head. I'm becoming more aware of like my own thoughts, my own processes, my own modes.
Yeah.
So I'm to this place now here in the present where I'm like, I've told people, we're like, are you sure which persona you're dealing with? And they kind of look at me like I'm crazy. Like, no, you got to understand, we all wear masks. What I'm doing
Yeah.
now is I'm just accepting the fact that I'm able to drift into whichever persona I want to or need to, or once I realize I may have drifted into a persona or switched modes, I'm like, okay, this is the mode I'm in. I regulate myself in that way. And
Yeah.
I think, the reason I got into psychology was to identify those things, put a name to it in that field of that profession in order that we can address these things in the wider population. Because I know I'm not the only one that goes to that. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who think they're crazy because they have these different modes that activate in different times under different circumstances. And like, no, that's all you. It's just a
Yeah.
different facet of you.
Interesting.
So the Karmic Dez is, a facet of me. So people who have seen me interact online, they'll see a reactive person, and in some ways they're right because we have to react to our environment, right? But
Yeah.
I have levels, right? So it's like, say I'm being disrespectful, or even in person, I would let them know, hey, is this what we're doing? Is that what you wanted? Is that what you meant by what you just said? Because the way I'm taking it is this, and if that's how I'm taking it, understand you're not going to get the response that you want coming back from me. So I kind of give people that buffer. I give myself that buffer as well because I may be misunderstanding you. I
Yeah.
could be in my own self and just taking it the wrong way, right? So I give people that clarity now, and I think that is more indicative and personified in who I want to be as Karmic Dez. Because I would eventually like that to be just who I am. I want that lightness. I want that wisdom. I want that sage quality, right?
Yeah.
But I understand you have to defend that as well. And I think that's where people misinterpret the whole Karmic Dez idea. Because
Yeah.
pretty sure you understand people when they hear, "Oh, you're not supposed to be mad. You're not supposed to get upset about anything." No, that's not how this
Yeah.
works. That's not.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not how this works.
Yeah.
That space still has to be protected,
Yeah.
right? So people are like, so I tell people like, I will learn martial arts so I can fiercely defend and keep the peace of this space. And I think that's the other part of it. That's the Libra in me, that balance. And people don't like that. Yeah, everything is astrology. Like, no, well, you got to understand everything is energy. And I believe that the way when we come to this world, the way the astrology links that way, the universe had a specific energetic organization when you came into this world,
Yeah.
and that's the energy you came into. So, why wouldn't astrology make sense in that way?
Yeah. For me, like, um, there were things that astrology generalizes, and there are
Right.
things that astrology is correct on some things, and some things it's wrong. It's like same as computer
Right.
giving correct and wrong answers, but when it is wrong, we again feel it as, oh, it's an error. We're going to fix that. I do think like there are some aspects to it because like there are people, uh, even my dad has astrologer um, friend, and he says something about, oh, Revant is going to do this, Revant is going to do that. It's not just me. But also, like, there are people that who believe it blindly and stick to that, which is
Right.
also not good
I
because they're bound by it. You should not let it bound you. Think of it as like, oh, do you want to fight it or just
right.
live it?
This is the
And yeah,
yeah. I think well the other sorry to interject you, but I just had a thought. I think the other part that people misinterpret with astrology, like you said, they bound themselves to it. The biggest mistake in doing that is they're bounding themselves to that one side, not
yeah,
realizing they're a culmination of all of them. So
yeah,
like that's why people are like, you believe in astrology, but you don't believe in horoscopes. Well, no, I don't believe in horoscopes at all. Because a horoscope
mm,
is giving you one aspect of the whole picture. You
yeah.
can't dictate your day off of you think of an analogous
On a Monday, you'll
right. Yeah, I can't dictate my day off of just my week off of Monday. Oh, Monday is bad, my whole week is bad. It doesn't work that way. It's a week is composed of the whole 7 days, and
yeah,
that's why I don't do horoscopes. But
yeah,
I just had to put that in there. Let you
yeah.
continue. I'm sorry,
I'm
let me cut.
curious. Everyone has their own superstitions. What are your superstitions?
Oh, superstitions. Ironically, I believe I have really bad luck. Or at one
Hmm.
point, I had bad luck. I believe as I've gotten older, it's kind of evened out.
Yeah,
But I don't have like the typical luck. I don't have like I just got a bunch of money luck, or I don't
yeah,
have like I won these tickets luck. My luck has to be kind of developed,
hmm,
kind of like chess. I have to make sure I do what I do on my end for my luck to kick in. Like let's
yeah,
say like my car might run out of gas right at the moment another car was running a red light.
yeah,
Right, that's my kind of luck right there.
yeah,
Um, so I believe, well, I feel that that is the better luck to have,
yeah,
because it's kept me out of situations. Like one time I was out at a club with my friend, and he got this vibe to him. It was like, "Hey man, we need to go."
yeah.
We left, and we kind of drove back around like 15 minutes later to see what the vibe was, and three people had got shot in
Oh my God.
the exact spot where we were standing before he said we need to go.
Yeah,
Right, so I didn't win no money, but I
yeah,
got my So that's how my luck kind of works. And as I look back on my life,
yeah,
or as an older man now, I look back on my life, and that's always the luck I've had.
yeah.
So
I I could see that with respect to one time I went into grocery store and literally I've seen a man carrying a gun. It kind of made feel a lot of people insecure. And luckily, like at that point of time, Stanford police or Palo Alto police came in and took the guy out. So I was like, oh, if they were late few minutes or I, you don't know what's going on this person's head. First of
right,
all, if there was going on something, I felt lucky as well because like you don't know what's going to happen, what whether it is going to happen, nothing is going to happen, or something is going to happen, or you don't want to question it.
right,
But sometimes you kind of feel lucky that oh, this does not happen to you. Even yesterday, like uh, me and my housemate were in gas station planning to go to movie and stopped for Tim's, and then seen a 15-year-old guy got shot in a playground in Queens or Bronx. I was we're thinking that, oh my God, why did this happen?
right,
And there is a deeper question to it, but at the same time, like a lot of people are afraid to talk about it. And but sometimes it feels glad that you're not there, but you also feel sad for the person
yeah,
that who was ended up there because it makes them in a lot of those cases lose the life.
mm.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's change the topic. Other
Yeah.
direction.
Well, let me touch on that. But like you said, a lot of people don't like to go that space, and I've kind of
Yeah.
always lived in that space. I've always
Yeah.
questioned. I've always looked death in the face, like, what do you got going on? What is
Yeah.
your plan? Um, and in situations like that, you do feel that relief.
Yeah.
And I also think if you're human, you kind of feel that sorrow for a life lost. And in those moments, I just reflect, and it just strengthens my belief that I need to live my life. all the suffering I'm going, like I've asked people, even when they're upset, like, you're upset, yeah, you're mad.
Yeah.
Be mad, feel that. Let it run its course. But also
Yeah.
think about this. What would it be like for you not to feel anything, not to be mad, not to be able to be, what I'm saying?
Nothing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about that.
Yeah.
So on some level, it's a gift to be able to be mad about something, because the other alternative is,
I think you can be mad, but also like you should not be exploding, because like whatever your feelings are, you're containing it to your space or conversing it through to work on it, to resolve it so that it won't affect other people.
right.
I do work on that, honestly. When I was in high school, I had so much body insecurities, but people used to make fun of me. I used to get mad because like, oh, people are making fun of me. I kept everyone at more than arm's length because I know everyone is, all these are kids. So it is an interesting thing thinking on self-reflecting on those, like we've grown from that point to now, even though a lot of things makes me mad, but the mad version of myself as the version in high school would never ever surface out.
Right. You found a way to
Because yeah,
you found a
channel
way to
it.
channel it and let it energize you and motivate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I'm mad, I basically either talk through or run. So that's my, yeah,
And
running
see,
is a good exercise.
and yeah, and I guess that kind of makes me unique. I'm not so you got the fight or flight response. I don't have too much of a fight response.
Yeah.
So throughout my whole life, like I was the same way. People talked about me, said things as well, and it's like it makes you mad, makes you want to do things. And like I said, I'm not a fight, I'm not a flight person. I'm a fight person, but I'm
Yeah.
also a thinker. So I know this fight is going to get me in trouble. So to a lot of people growing up, it looked like you don't fight nobody. It's like, no, I really
Yeah.
want to take it off, but I don't like being I don't like restriction anymore.
Yeah.
Restriction as like jail time,
Yeah.
alternative school, over regular. I don't like being micromanaged,
Yeah.
right? So to put myself in that situation, to me, to avoid that outweighed assaulting me and
Yeah.
out of it. And as I've gotten older, it just it's that's even more solidified. It just makes more sense. Like most people aren't even really mad at me; they're mad about something else,
Yeah.
and they're just taking that on me. And that's when I noticed knowing that now, it's like you get to ask them, hey, bro, like or ask them or tell them, hey, you're mad at me. This is what you're mad about.
Yeah.
Like it just takes all that because
Yeah.
like you said earlier, you already had a lot of anger built up inside you. When people came at you, it exacerbated what you had inside,
Yeah.
where it came out. I
Yeah.
I, I felt you in it when you said. I felt all of that when you said that. That was the
Yeah.
exact way.
With time, like I grown and was a amazing person now. Not say amazing, decent person. I think my dad, if my dad hears it, or Revon,
Growing person. You're a growing person.
growing person. So yeah, and now what I do is like I talk through, or like, oh, where does this anger comes from? Or like, as you said, oh, what's going to happen in the future if you react or if you don't react? Like I call it as probability of yes no theory for every decision. Probability of no is always 2/3. Probability of yes is 1/3. So like, let's say you want to apply for something, or you want to work on an idea, or if you don't work on an idea that you have, it's stuck in your head and you're not going to work on it, and it is not going to succeed. So 66.67%, it is not going to be true.
I like that. I like that. It's kind of reflects what I tell people. Because I've gotten to the point where, and like I understand it. I give people grace, but I really hate when people are like, "I want to do this. I want to get up and
Yeah.
do this." And I'm like, "Well, just go do it." Well,
Yeah.
I got this. They immediately go in excuse mode while they can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, and I tell them all the time, "Well, you're looking for perfection. You
Yeah.
can't get perfection as a human if you don't do it,
Yeah.
right?" And what they
Yeah.
miss is what I'm saying is try.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is try. Because when you're trying, you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what Yoda was saying in Star Wars. There is no try, there's only do. Do or do not. And he's right, because when you're trying, you're doing. Trying is doing just not the way you want it to or not perfectly.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it. When you're practicing riding the bike, you're riding the bike, just not perfectly.
Yeah, that's what we do when we were kids. The four-wheel bike,
Yeah,
three-wheel, then the two-wheel,
yeah. Then
and then
eventually,
you leave the bike.
that's when then they say you're riding the bike. But the whole time you've been riding the bike. It might have been
Yeah,
for a microsecond here or nanosecond there, until eventually you got a full second, then 2 seconds, then 3 minutes, and
yeah,
then you learn.
yeah,
But you have to do it in order to do it.
yeah. I have one more question going back to our conversation. I know you observe different religions. So what were the commonalities you found in the religion, and what were the differences you found in different religions? I
Oh.
think that would help a lot of people to respect one another, especially on whatever happening currently. So
Well, let me say this to tie kind of like all that together.
yeah.
I did find myself in Confucianism.
Mm.
And one of the things, like the most memorable thing I took from Confucianism is, why are we so worried about what the gods have for?
Yeah.
We have a job to do here with our people.
Yeah.
We have to make sure we're doing right, and, standing by our people. And I think that's kind of like the tying link through all the religions in reality.
Mhm.
Because in Christianity, one of the greatest things you could do is to take care of orphans and widows. In Buddhism, the best thing you could do is to take care of the suffering.
Yeah.
I believe it's kind of the same thing in Hinduism,
Yeah. Taking
right?
care of basically everyone and the society, elderly, family, everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Being good stewards of the planet.
Yeah.
And when you look at that, none of that requires a God.
Yeah.
It just requires you to have a good, idea of the interconnectedness of us all, really.
Yeah.
And I think that does come from wisdom and experience, and what they call awakening.
Yeah.
That is a word woke now. And I tell people all the time, no, you're not woke. If you're sitting here arguing this, particular point, you're not woke. Because if
Yeah.
you're woke, you understand the whole interconnectedness of all this.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the similarity I find in all of it. We're doing our duty to take care of people.
Yeah.
And in doing so, for most of the gods, that's doing good in their eyes.
Yeah.
And Christianity requires, depending on religion, it might require a step more for enlightenment or for heaven. But overall, those are things that are going to be pretty universal. The difference is again, exaltation. How you're exalted in your religion is probably the biggest difference across all of them. You've got nirvana, and you got enlightenment. You've got heaven. I forget what it's called in Islam, but they, kind of, the same, colloquy of heaven there.
Yeah.
Some of the ancient, I want to say, some of the native religion or native spirituality or native spiritual traditions. Sky gods, like
Yeah.
even in ancient Roman and Greece traditions, you were exalted amongst the stars. So I think
Yeah.
that's like the biggest difference amongst all of them when you get down to it, is how you're exalted once you're past.
Interesting. No, I agree with you. And one more thing it kind of makes me think is good news goes slower always, but bad news spreads faster.
Yeah.
Similarly, whatever good things that are happening in religion does not even surface, and bad things that happen or whatever is made up as bad, they surface more faster than, like, let's say, religion-based wars, but deeper. There is a difference that people are doing, where they're using it as a mask, as you said. Like, people are using things as masks, like, oh, 1, 2, 3. So there, I feel like people are using it as a mask to get their whatever the motive that is,
Right.
instead of being good. And yeah,
And, I touched on that on one of my episodes as well. I kind of did a series here, it's like maybe 10 episodes. And the whole idea of it behind the episodes was from the biblical verse, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against spirits in high places, or evil spirits, or corrupt spirits in high places, right? So I
yeah,
did a whole series about that, and I started that out with the superpower episode, because we have to identify what our power is. I believe we should identify what our power is in order for us to be the best version of ourselves in this world, right? So I wanted to start that out to empower people that you
yeah,
can fight against these corrupt spirits in high places, right?
yeah,
So I also did an episode on corruption. So I questioned corruption in itself. right? So if we look at from even in the Hinduism tradition, corruption in a general sense is you're just either distance from God or your imperfection, right? And in that sense, we're all corrupt.
Yeah.
I understand that. So I asked the question, if we're in these positions of power, how would we respond? Like if you were, let's say, a senator in your state, like we criticize them all the time, but if you're in that exact same position, how would you respond? Like we like to say, we would do this, we would do this. But, I think if we look at history and even stats.
I don't want that responsibility. So.
Right. So that's the point I'm getting at. When we look at, the reality of it, most people who say these things, when they get put in that position, do the exact same thing that they fought against. Go ahead.
But I think instead of acting, people generally should think on what actually affects and minimize the effect rather than threatening it. Oh, this is going to affect this or whatever it is. So minimize the effect that is happening. That's the best you can do. I think that's what people are going to justify as well. Whatever the position they are kept in, the decision they made at that point of time. Let's say, just giving example, going down a busy freeway, you end up let's say you started 30 minutes before, you don't end up in the middle of the freeway because there was a tanker spill or something. But as we were talking, but now you were 30 minutes late, now you're actually 2 hours late because of a tanker spill. So it is the decision that we make, and we don't know what the outcome is. And only thing is we have to adapt space. We need to make sure oh, is this affecting me, or is this whatever the decision I'm making is affecting others? So we have to see how much it is affecting others, or is there a way that I make sure the effect is negligible? Let's say even now there are infrastructure projects that are happening that would require people to change their homes. And what is the minimal effect that I can do to alleviate the pain of these people? Maybe I could move the entire community, which is displacing literally, which is also fraught upon, and or giving them, or maybe a work around it, because for some people homes are the memories of lifetime.
And you're touching on something that I express to people when we talk politics here, just generally. It's like if we have a system that's been messed up for so long, at some point, all you can do is manage the chaos.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes in, when anybody tries to come in to try to straighten that out, there's going to be even more chaos because so much chaos came before it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be it's rough, and I tell people in the world coming up, because I believe there's a world shift coming. Oh, there's going to be a lot of chaos because there's a lot of things that have to be straightened out.
Yeah.
When you're ironing your clothes, what do? You're using heat and pressure.
Yeah.
That's the only way to get the wrinkles out. Heat and pressure. That's not, that's what we got to deal with. That's what's coming. I mean, Hinduism has it with the yugas.
Yeah. Every yuga is the heat is turned up higher. And I have a question. This is something I want to help people understand. There are people who follows karmic, like you, but there are people who say that they're following karmic, but actually not following that, and making them a fake person out of it. And how do you identify that?
Let's say they're online, like with podcasters. A lot of them, you said they'll say these things, and then, but I'll hear the doctrine, because I've done a lot of reading across these different doctrines, and I'll hear something that's like, no, that's not right. I'm hoping and I'll keep listening to see if they're going to kind of catch themselves. But if I hear them kind of dig into it, it's like, yeah, no, this ain't right. Or let's say with the woke movement, so the woke movement, I don't like the colorization of the woke movement, woke for people of color. No, where are y'all getting that from? If we're going to be talking about woke, this idea of woke is way older than 2015.
Yeah.
I tell them that no, we made this because we need representation, and we all. I mean, so if we're going to be woke, then that means everybody gets representation.
Yeah.
Because woke, as I understand it, is coming to the realization that really none of this is real. I mean, physics tells us that it's all atoms and molecules.
Yeah.
So I asked one of my guys online, is like, okay, so where do you come from? Because I can't use a microscope to find the smallest version of you.
Yeah.
I run into molecules and atoms. It's
Yeah.
only when we scan out to where we become emergent, as in I see you in this, this form. But
Yeah.
I also know you in that form, you're made of atoms and molecules that are also 90% space. So that to me is woke, because
Yeah.
that is the real reality. We're all
Yeah.
just energy interacting with each other. So the fact that you're getting mad at me about something, I mean, I understand that's a certain energy field that you're feeling and whatnot. I'm just want to understand what about my energy that you're picking up on, made you feel that.
Yeah.
And I think that for me
So,
is where, that karmic thing. I think that's what the sages understood as well, is that we're all just energy bumping up against each other at the end of the day. Like none of
yeah.
this, it's not. Then when I die, what will this argument have meant once I'm passed?
Yeah.
It's that thing. Like, so it kind of leans toward nihilism,
Yeah.
but it's not, because I understand we all have a role to play. Like this role is going to be played regardless, so I might as well play my role. I'm here to be
Yeah.
Desmond.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Like when you said that, it kind of reminded me of like a lot of artists, especially in creative space, they get recognized after they die, unfortunately. As,
Mm,
except music and movies.
right.
But the remaining artists, it's hard. Like it is kind of ironic, like how your theories are not appreciated when you're alive, but you're dead. Like I remember when I was a kid, there was a rapper dead, and all his albums got exploded. I was like, why couldn't they appreciate when he was living?
Right. As like MF Doom, he's one of those artists.
Yeah,
Nipsey Hussle is one of those artists. Like everybody loves him when you die.
yeah. You cannot die for sake of fame.
So that's also why I kind of like, I just create to create, because at the end of the day, like I understand they might not latch onto it till 50 years after I pass. And like, oh, that's what he was talking about. Because I understand, like, the way I see the world and see things, it's actually more ancient than a lot of people realize.
Yeah,
And one of the phrases I heard the other day is actually a wrestling phrase. It came from a wrestling podcast. The guy said, "The thing is so old, it's new again." I was like, "Oh, that's actually dope." And that's what actually the New Age, that they don't realize with the whole New Age movement, New Age
yeah,
spirituality, is like, I tell them, like, that idea is actually really old. Like, no, they just came up with this idea in like 2019. Like, no, I have the Dhammapada in my library. Like, we go. I can show you where it's at.
yeah. It's like fashion revival. Like 90s fashion is back now. So
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy, right?
there was a point of skinny jeans, and now they are again frowned upon.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of glad I can buy regular jeans again.
Now you can breathe again.
Yeah, yeah. It was hard finding regular jeans for a while.
Yeah,
As I've gotten older, I understand that it's just the way it is, man. Like,
yeah,
you can sit there and dwell on it, but that's only gonna make you a really bitter person.
yeah,
Like, people are wanting, like the whole COVID thing. Oh,
yeah,
let me, like I was saying with the good luck earlier. Let me touch on that real quick. So, like, when part of my, like I said, my luck doesn't work the normal way. So,
yeah,
weekend of COVID, I shattered my femur. So in the process, I was out of work, but
yeah,
I was getting unemployment and I was getting my disability pay.
yeah,
Meanwhile, the rest of the guys who had to work,
yeah,
they were getting their hours cut.
yeah,
They were having to make unemployment claims. Again, they wasn't getting disability pay. So I, in my injury, doubled my salary in a time where they were cutting hours,
yeah,
opposed to if I hadn't got hurt, I would have been dealing with cut hours and less money.
yeah,
I told my wife at the time, I was like, that's the silver lining in this. Like, I can't walk, but I'm making more money now. So with that being said, everybody people are still wanting things to go back to what it was before COVID.
yeah,
They still want Walmart to be 24 hours. And I tell them, people, like, no, we messed that up, because what they found out is they could make the same amount of money with this limited hours in the case of
yeah,
Walmart than if they were to just run 24 hours. So why would they go back to 24 hours if they're making the same amount of money?
yeah,
And that's essentially the story of the world, considered it's mainly run on capitalism right now. Granted, there are socialist pockets but they dabble in the capitalist economy as well. So if the whole world is making the same amount of money that they were before COVID, or even more after COVID, why would they go back to what it was before? That's like, to me, that's like even human survival logic. Like if I'm finding fish in abundance here in this pond, why would I make the trek 5 miles that way to go to a pond that might not have the fish that I want?
There is a theory that I have is like underlying is when remote work was there was efficiency, but at the same time, like I think hybrid work is pretty good at this point.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of work that can be done remote at this point. People are still trying to bring it back. And there is a theory that I read. How much of it is true or false, I don't know. But when a lot of people are at the same place, real estate prices increase. Yeah. Think of this. Miami real estate, New York real estate prices were higher once after COVID ended. Again, they were actually higher than 2019, because interest rates, all the other aspects like, oh, return back to office. So
Right.
for 2 years, everyone is out of working in whatever the city they want to work in. Now they're back to office. And again, New York rent is actually twice as 2019 rent at this point.
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that like that.
Yeah.
Again, the world, man, it's going to happen. I mean, the world is going to world whether you want it to or not. And if you sit and dwell on it, you're going to be a pretty bitter person.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is to adapt, become adaptable, evolve, gain as many, especially in today's world, gain as many skills as you can. Build a team.
Yeah. I'm curious, one more thing. This is something to want to ask for everyone. Sometimes people have good day and bad day. How do they make bad day also into it's okay, it's a bad day. I'm glad. It's not I'm glad, sorry. It's okay, it's a bad day. And tomorrow will be a better day. The saying sounds a lot better. Actually, tomorrow is a better day because whatever happened, but the moment you feel, oh, today is a bad day, that sucks so bad. How do you get over that feeling very quickly?
I would say this. I've always been like an emotionally resilient person like that, even though I've had like anger issues. That's, anger is a state. Me and my guy, we discussed that anger is a state. That's just part of my temperament, right? So as I've gotten older, like that's how people understand, like I'm this person, but understand my temperament is leans more towards anger, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's, one of the things I had to develop. And I think that's I don't be too high on myself, but that's one of my gifts right there is that I, like Bruce Banner, I temper that very well. As far as like, where I'm having a bad day. So when I went through my divorce, I had like bad weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like every day I knew, wake up, today's bad. Wake up, today's bad. Go to sleep, tomorrow's going to be bad. Right. Then one day I said to myself, I'm psyching myself into bad days now.
Yeah.
I got to take control of my life.
Yeah.
So there's the phrase per diem, or per diem, seize the day.
Yeah.
Per diem, I'm saying that wrong. What is the phrase? I can't remember the phrase right now, but seize the day,
it's okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I took that and put it in my words, dominate your day.
Yeah.
Right. So in that, I know that there are going to be bad moments, but do I want this bad moment to make my whole day?
No.
Right. So
yeah.
In doing that, I started dominating my day. Like, okay, I'm mad right now. Do I want to be mad?
No.
And as I started practicing that, it's like I started to catch it now. I was like, okay, that person just said something that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
So I have an option here to either cuss them out, respond in that way, angrily, or I can remove myself from the situation, or I can temper the situation and see if we can continue, especially in this case of, when you work at work, because you can't just fire off at somebody at work when you still got to get the job done,
Yeah.
So a combination of doing that and working jobs where, you deal with irritation, I developed the idea or concept of dominate your day. And it's exactly what it is. Dominate your day. Like if you feel this has to be addressed, address it mindfully, right? There's that mindfulness meditation, address this mindfully, then let it go. And so I can be angry in this moment. I understand I can be angry or mad and upset and vent all that frustration in this moment. I have, it's a part of being human. We all do it. And I tell people, when they get mad at me and they start expressing their passion and they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off at you like that. I'm like, no, you're good. Because I understand people have these passions, they have anger, they have all these emotions, and sometimes you just want to get it out.
Yeah.
I understand if once you get it out, now you don't feel the urge to want to punch somebody in the face as much. Right.
For a lot of people, letting go is harder than it is because like it is not easy.
Yeah.
Than said.
And that's why I put myself in that. I've learned to be able to humble myself and put myself in that position because I understand it's not easy. And sometimes, well, most of the time when we vent to ourselves, we vent in that way, we don't say things that land soft to the person we're venting to. Mm-hmm. And they might take it a certain way. Now they're venting and it becomes a shouting match. So my job, in my position, especially like with the whole, Karmic Dez, the brand I'm building, is to take myself, remove myself from that, and to just observe both of us. So I observe how I'm feeling in this moment. And it helps teach me this is what this particular portion of anger feels like, and this is what this particular irritation feels like. So I'm able to better navigate that in the future. But I'm also watching and observing this person. I'm listening intently to what they're saying. I'm like, oh, I hear all this. They're saying all this. They're mad about this, but this is what they're mad about.
Yeah, you identify.
Right. I speak directly to that point at that point. And they're like, yes, that's what I'm mad about. And I'm like, okay, well, let's discuss that. And then the temperature starts to slowly cool down because I'm addressing that point.
The root cause.
Right. And I learned that Buddhism.
Yeah.
That's that wisdom that I always, when I was younger, I didn't say this earlier. I had asked God for wisdom.
Yeah.
If anybody younger, and I'm pretty sure you understand this, that is one of the most dangerous wishes to ask God for. Because wisdom means you have to live through some shit.
Yeah.
You have to actually experience this stuff. And if I had realized that when I was younger, I probably would have asked for wisdom.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing. Because like I said, I can you can be yelling at me, cussing me out. Like even at my job, I understand, my boss, he might say something, hey man, what's going on with all this? And I'm like, I understand, like I have no defense because I messed up.
Yeah.
And I'll tell him, I'll get through all the fluff, like, you're right, I did this, I messed up. I have to do better.
Yeah.
Or you will fire me. So I tell him what my consequences are going to be. So he's just like, yeah, man.
You know your consequences.
Right. So in that way, I make myself hard to, I guess, to be frustrated with in that way. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I understand mistakes are going to happen. So he understands mistakes are going to happen. But and then I run a lawn service too. So I kind of understand what it's like to be. I understand what it's like to be on both sides now. And I understand, like with me, the way I am, if I have an employee or whatever that is, up front is like, yeah, I fucked up. I understand the consequences. I understand you're mad. You probably want to fire me. All that. You're able to accept that. I'm just like, I can't even fucking discipline you.
Yeah.
Because you're already doing it to yourself. And I know what it's like to discipline yourself. I know what it's like, to beat yourself up like that. And I'm not going to come in and, add that extra on you when you. Especially if if I see that you are a person that can bounce back from that and rebound and do it better the next time. Like I'm not going. No. Why would I beat that person up? That's where a lot of managers make a mistake. They go and beat that person up.
Yeah.
And they lose a good worker.
Yeah. You have to take the lesson, learn from it, and try to avoid it in the future of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because like I said earlier, one of the things I admire about people are people who try because you're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't want to scare people out of doing. When I train people, I tell people all the time, you go ahead and make the mistake, whatever mistake you make, I'll take advantage. I'll take the credit for it.
Yeah.
Like, are you sure? Like, yeah, go ahead, make a mistake. Fuck up. That's the only way you're gonna learn. They might get mad at you. I'm not gonna get mad at you. I understand you're learning. If they got a question about it, I'll let them know that I was teaching you and I saw what happened and we're gonna do better next time.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
I've had managers, why are they doing it like that? Why they messed that up? And I was, I understand you're upset, but I was training them. I had to let them, go through the process. And tomorrow we're gonna get it right. And as you see, through this period, they were right, they were good. I addressed it when it happened. If you want to be mad at me, be mad at me, but they're learning.
Yeah.
So I understand. I take a risk whenever I'm working in that way.
Yeah.
It's just something that's in me.
Yeah. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When it doesn't, you learn from it, you grow from it. Mm-hmm. When it works, you'll be the happiest version of yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk to you about Yeah, music though. Like, yeah, sorry. I'm parallelly thinking on a lot of stuff, but at the same time, like coming to music, I've seen that, you started doing music since end of last year towards from December. What is your favorite song that you actually have released?
The one that's released right now, my favorite. Oh, I'm gonna say two. I love My Lamentation. That song was 100% intentional. There was no accident. There was no epiphany moment. I want to make a song about my lamentation. So I had the title before I even wrote the lyrics down. And that song was that was me opening the door to let y'all know that, yeah, I've been here.
Yeah.
I've been watching. I've been listening.
Yeah.
And now I speak.
Interesting.
Right. And the second one I'm going to name is probably The Best Chapter. I love that one because when I wrote it, I was in this new zone of writing. So I'd finished writing the sessions with myself.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, okay. And it was kind of therapeutic for me as well, because like at that point I was like, I wrote the integration of myself with my subconscious.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do together. So that's where the Best Chapter came out. And I wrote that, and by tapping into the moment when you're with your significant other, and it's that moment, right before y'all are connected, but y'all are not together.
Yeah.
That uncertainty right before, do I want to be with this person? Is this a person I could be with? Or do I want to be single? Or do I just want to enjoy this moment?
Yeah.
So the Best Chapter was, I want to enjoy this moment. And I want you to enjoy this moment with me too. I don't want to think about today. I want to think about tomorrow. I don't want to think about yesterday. The only thing that exists right now is this moment.
Yeah. Being in present.
Right. And from that point on, I think I kind of rediscovered myself as an R&B artist. And it kind of just everything, like the songs just started flowing. Like I have so many songs I'm just slowly releasing.
Yeah.
Because they're just coming.
I'm currently listening to your couple of weekly releases at this point. One is Gumbo, Prember Life.
I appreciate that. And the Gumbo song, that I wrote that, the way my writing process now, let me backtrack. So I had always thought myself as a rapper.
Yeah.
That might have been the disconnect I had when I was writing. I was writing as a rapper as opposed to who I really am.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I'm more towards soul as opposed to R&B, but we'll see where that lands. So the Gumbo song, that was about my life or my feelings during the period of divorce I was